Hey everybody, welcome back to the Carry and Cut YouTube channel. And if you're new here, I sure do appreciate you stopping by and watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment down below. Check out our Instagram at Carry and Cut and our Patreon at Carry and Cut also. All the support from the Patreon goes right back into the YouTube channel to buy new knives and new equipment to hopefully make the quality and the content better for you guys. And before we get too far along, I want to give Stephen Weigel a huge shout out. This is another one of his knives that he sent over for us to take a look at. So we've almost looked at his whole collection now. So it is definitely very awesome. He still has a couple more that he has. I'm pretty sure that he might send over to us. But it's definitely been awesome to take a look at all of his knives, take them apart, and go through them, clean them up, and all that kind of fun stuff. And be able to show you guys. And I know he likes to watch. I know his kids like seeing his stuff on the internet too. So it's pretty cool. But before we get into that, I want to show our 750 subscriber giveaway knife. So this is an F & Grow. I can't quite remember the model number on this one off the top of my head. Sorry about that. But this is a definitely pretty cool knife. One of the subscribers actually bought this knife for us to do a RIT dye video on how we actually dye these G10 handles. They were a JG10, so we did a RIT dye how-to video on it. So this giveaway is actually provided by one of our actual subscribers. So that is another awesome thing. So he gave back to me. I'm going to give back to one of you guys. So it would definitely be pretty cool for somebody to win this one. It'd be really cool for him to win it back too. So that would be awesome. Be kind of full circle. So nice crossbar locking knife. You know, pretty good action for what it is, and I like it. So it was fun to do that video, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it too. But for what do we got now? We got a fancy boy, that's for sure. This is definitely a nicer knife. This is a Kansept fenrir, so this is a top flipper. And one thing that's definitely a little bit different about this knife, when I first got it and I was taking a look at it, I couldn't figure out how to close the darn thing. And that was because it's actually a left-hand only model. So Stephen is a lefty. All of his knives, especially, sometimes he even sends me new ones, and I take them apart, and I flip the clip over for him and everything like that. So this is a left-biased only knife. So pretty cool. I've never experienced one. This is my first time ever handling a lefty knife, and it's pretty interesting to see how they do everything different. That's definitely pretty cool with it being a top flipper. You know, it's pretty not ambidextrous in its nature, but it's definitely pretty cool. The top flipper works very well. I'm not very good at top flippers anyway, but it does work, and I can do it, so that's pretty cool. You do have your thumb studs, and I can I can get the thumb stud too, so definitely pretty cool. I'm definitely a right-handed person, but it's definitely awesome to see. So Kansept fenrir, F-E-N-R-A-R. This is a pretty aggressive looking knife, and you know, just like right away it's striking. The blade shape is really cool. Really do love like how it, you know, tucks your hand in there. Yeah, this is a you have like a really big, you know, finger twirl right here, and then also you have a really good spot for your thumb, like a thumb ramp too. So the only thing that I would like to see was be some jimping right here, but other than that, you know, it's definitely pretty cool. It's great ergonomics on it, and I guess when you're holding it with your right hand, your clip kind of gets in the way. I guess I never really did realize that a whole lot, but when you're holding it lefty, you don't even really realize that thing's there. But great ergonomics on this thing, and another thing, it's just super, you know, eye appealing to me. Like, you know, this thing is just great looking with titanium. Its actual construction is mostly titanium. Of course, it has the shred carbon fiber inlays on it, inlays, yeah, over top of the titanium. So that's pretty cool. And we do have this nice brass. It's not actually brass, but like a brass anodized or some kind of hardware on here. We do have all sorts of different types of hardware on here. We got T6s, I'm pretty sure, in the actual onlay part of it. Yep, T6s there. We got T6s on the, yep, we do have T6s on the body. So T6s on the body screws. So we do have a good bit of body screws going on in this thing. T6 on the pocket clips, and then we have a T10 up here in the pivot. And one thing I do know, this is not a captive pivot, so watch when I screw this, it's going to actually move this side. So that is one thing to take note of when you guys are taking this apart or handling this knife. If you want to adjust the pivot in any sort of way, you're going to need to have two T10 drivers. You might be able to get away with using a T8 and a T10 on one side, but I would just, you know, kind of steer against that when you're actually using this thing. And righties could definitely use this knife too. I mean, I don't see why you couldn't just throw this in the pocket and rock it as a righty. Right hand tip up. It won't really fit as good as, you know, it could if you're using it on the right hand side, but definitely pretty cool. So this is I'm getting really, you know, straying away from what we're actually trying to get onto here. So Stephen definitely put his own edge on this thing. I can tell because he really gets these, you know, high shine edges on these things. So if you guys can see, this thing definitely needs a little bit of a cleanup. But this thing has a wicked sharp edge on it, crazy blade shape. Really do love it. You got S35VN on the blade steel. which is, you know, S35 is definitely good stuff. We got high edge retention, good amount of toughness and stainlessness. This is going to be a black. I don't really know exactly what the coating on this. I was on the website and it was like TICN or something like that. I'm not too sure what the actual coating is on this thing, but it is black coated and it does have a stone wash on it. So that's pretty cool to see. The carbon fiber is excellent feeling, really nice, and I do love the titanium. And they say this is a liner lock on the actual website. I guess I could see, you know, where it would be a liner lock, but at the same time, I kind of look at it as a frame lock. It does have a, I'm not sure if it's an over travel stop in there, but it does have a hardened lock bar insert, stainless steel lock bar insert in there that you guys can kind of see if I get my, there we go. There you can see it right there. So there's a screw in there. So I guess it could kind of be considered a liner lock. It's more of a frame lock in my mind, but I guess in your over travel stop would be the actual carbon fiber on the other side. So definitely pretty cool to see. The price on this thing, they were like, I think it was right around the between $150 and $170 price range, depending on where you're looking at. Of course, on the Kansept website, it's going to be a little bit more. I did see these on Amazon, and I'm pretty sure, you know, it's coming from a trusted seller, and you could definitely trust them on Amazon. So I'll have them linked down in the description below if you guys like to check them out. But this thing is sweet. You can even get a reverse flick on there. So everything works very well. Really do like this top flipper. There we go. I got it pretty good that time. Action is incredible on this thing too. So got just a little bit of effort to shake it down. But I think this thing could go a lot better with a little bit of cleaning. Some TLC will get in there and kind of see what it's working on. This thing has definitely got to be having some kind of, I'm sure this thing is riding on bearings because it is very smooth. Very wet. It might not be this. So don't mark my words on that. I did not check into that part. And I'm not seeing, no, I see a nylon washer in there. So maybe it's not riding on bearings. Looks like you can kind of see some nylon sticking through there. So it might be a nylon and a phosphor bronze kind of combination, which isn't a bad deal either. You know, this, I could see this being like a not a hard use, but you could definitely use this darn thing. And I know Stephen definitely does use his knives. So let's go ahead and get some measurements on this thing, if you will. Let's go ahead and from the tip to the butt, we're a little right at 8 inches exactly. So that's pretty cool to see. Blade length is going to be, I'm going to say it's right at 3.5. If you're coming straight from the actual frame of the knife, not frame, but the onlay, the carbon fiber section right here. Geez, I'm getting lost in my words. We got 3.5 inches, just a hair over 3 inches of actual sharpened edge on it. So you are losing a whole lot of edge with this finger choil, but you know, you'll be able to get a whole lot of sharpening and life expectancy out of this thing before you get any sort of weird stuff. I mean, heck, you could sharpen that thing all the way into there and you wouldn't even have much of a blade left, but could if you had to. So I could definitely see you having this knife for a long time. It's going to be tough, and there really is, you know, no failure point. As long as you know, you take care of it, this thing's going to take care of you, I guess you could say. So let's go ahead and get some, let's do a weight on it first before we do any size comparisons. All right, go ahead and zero out the scale here. Let's miss carryandcut kitchen scale. All right, so we're looking at 4.1 ounces, which I think is probably pretty much right exactly what the website said. So 4.1 ounces for, you know, a little over 3-inch blade on it. And that's good to see. I don't mind that at all, especially since this thing is, you know, I keep wanting to say hard use, but it's not exactly hard use. I mean, this thing is definitely not a gentlemanly carry, but it's definitely a fancier carry. You know, all the carbon fiber, the titanium, all that sort of good stuff. And, you know, with that being said, there is no internal milling on this titanium whatsoever. So you're getting the full weight of the titanium, which I like that. I like the good amount of heft to it. You know, I'm a big fan of the brass and copper. I know Stephen is too. He really does like all the metals on his actual blades. On his knife, so that makes a difference. I really do like a nice hand-feeling grip, and this thing does have it, and it has a good amount of weight to it, and it feels like you're not getting something cheap. It feels like you're spending your money on something that's actually worth spending your money on, I guess you could say. So I really do like that. Let's go ahead and do some size comparisons now. Let's do PM2 first. So I know Stephen will appreciate this one. So this is the PM2. Of course, we got the brass scales on it. So that's pretty nice titanium brass scales. Stephen actually gave these to me for my birthday. So Stephen, I appreciate that. And here's another PM2. So definitely not a very great size comparison. Definitely going to be a little bit smaller than the PM2s are. How about the Spyderco Yojimbo? and we're pretty much right in the same ballpark right there. So if you guys know what the Yojimbo's about, then we're going to be right at the same wheelhouse. How about the Ferrum Forge Aluris, which is another titanium frame locking knife, and we are pretty much in the same exact boat right there. And then how about let's do a Spyderco Delica. Everybody seems to have a pretty good understanding of what that knife is, so we're definitely bigger than the Delica. And how about one more mind-blowing one? Let's do another Kansept knife, Kansept Corvid Mini, tiny little guy. So obviously we're dwarfing that one like crazy. So, all right. So overall, my thoughts and opinions on this knife, it is definitely a very fancy knife. I love it. The look of it is crazy. I would love to have a right-hand version of this thing. That would be even better in my books, but I know it wouldn't be as good for Stephen. But this thing is definitely sweet. The only one thing, an actual gripe that I do have for this thing would be, of course, the lack of jimping up here and the not use of a captive pivot. So I really don't understand why companies can't do that right now, you know, especially how far that the knife industry has come. Just go ahead and put, you know, do something, a little D-shape, or put a little thing on this onlay, something sticking out. Do something to where you don't need to have more tools to take this thing apart and take care of it. Because, you know, a lot of people, you know, I think everybody should be able to take apart their knives and take care of them, clean them, just have fun with them. You know, I enjoy disassembling knives. I just think it's a fun thing to do. But maybe not everybody feels that way. But I do like that. So it is kind of, it's not something, a deal breaker, but it's just kind of more of a pain in the butt than anything when you actually are trying to take this thing apart and work on it. But other than that, the price point is pretty good for what you're getting. You're getting S35 VN steel, you're getting titanium, carbon fiber, all for under $200. Titanium pocket clip, not deep carry, but it's, you know, deep carry enough. So that's going to be pretty cool. You know, other than that, this is really nothing major to complain about. The knife is great. It's going to work good. It's going to have excellent slicing, you know, with its pretty much full flat grind, not full all the way flat grind, but high flat grind of this thing. It's going to be a super slicer, and it's already pretty thin too. So we got 138 thousandths on the blade stock thickness, which is great to see. You know, nothing too chunky, and we even do have some like a fuller, if you will, some kind of they took the, you know, actually the thickest part of the knife down to reduce your drag on your nice long cuts, and it has a super aggressive amount of belly on it too. So I mean, look at that, you can rock that thing back and forth. So that's awesome to see. Really do love all that amount of belly on it. It's going to be a great cutter, great utility knife, and just a overall, yeah, great utility blade, I guess you could say. So that's all I got for you guys for now. If you guys have any questions, make sure you leave them down in the comment section below, and I sure do appreciate it.